blood cells. There's a force between red blood cells, and that red blood cells in our body function at the speed of light. Think about that. I got to tell you, as a cardiologist, I did 3,000 angiograms in a cath lab. And I was amazed when I was 30 years old, when I was a fellow in cardiology. We would put rubber bands around an artery, and we would cut an artery and stick a catheter in the artery, and then we would inject the heart, would die, and the heart would light up like a Christmas tree, and we would see blockages. But sometimes those rubber bands would slip, and I'll never forget it as long as I lived. I will never forget this. If a rubber band slipped, that artery would squirt blood out and hit the ceiling 30 feet across the room. But what I really got was how the heart can torque the blood. So think of it this way. When the heart contracts in systole, it twists like this, and the blood gets torqued, and the blood's spinning at 186,000 miles a second. Well, the heart is an unbelievable organ. Unbelievable. Where it can have that force and throw that blood out. And now Pauling talked about when red blood cells start to lose vitamin C, they get knocked off by the spleen. Because what happens is when they get older, they can't keep up with their younger counterparts and they can't function. So the body, in its wisdom, takes them out with the spleen. And then our bone marrow makes new red blood cells. So, in essence, we're electrical beings. You know, we're not flesh and bones. We're electric. We're electric. So, the heart, being an electrical organ, is the most vulnerable to toxic electrical stress, but it's the most susceptible to healing forces of harmonious waves that can nurture the heart. Clint had this incredible insight about using the earth as a way of healing the body. It's really simple. The earth is struck by lightning thousands of times per minute, especially around the equator. And when the lightning strikes the earth, or when the solar flares from the atmosphere, trillions of electrons get infiltrated into the earth. Now, the electrons have a negative charge. Now, our bodies, because they're so toxic, our bodies are a sea of chemicals, and we're a sea of electric charge, and it's a positive electric charge from what we call free radical oxidative stress. So our bodies are starving for electrons. Let's get electrons. We take antioxidants. We take CoQ10, we take zinc, we take beta-carotene, lutein, powerful antioxidants, but you would need handfuls of antioxidants to sequester free radicals living in the day we live in. I was born in 1946. There were maybe 50 million cars in 1946. The sea of chemicals that we have today, there was certainly no EMF or RF, and the autism rate back in 1946 was 1 in 25,000. Today, with billions of cell phones on the planet, now in a male, it's 1 in 67. In Canada, there's a big movement by consumers of trying to get Wi-Fi out of schools, because that Wi-Fi is pulsating energy, pulsating. And there's other societies that won't allow a child to have a cell phone from 5 to 18. Outlawed. Finland, the same thing. Denmark, the same thing. Spain, Greece, Japan, they're trying to get Wi-Fi out. Our country is doing nothing. When my son was sick, he said, "Dad, the thing that brings me back, that gets my energy, is when he walks barefoot." I got us a room in the Holiday Inn because it was raining. He slept on the grass in the tent. When I was practicing cardiologist and my patients would travel to Florida when I was practicing in Connecticut, they would come back after a vacation. They say, "I feel so much better." And I thought it was the sun, and I thought it was the water, and I thought it was the reduction of stress. But if you really look at it, it was the ground. When you walk barefoot on the sand, or you walk barefoot on the grass, or on concrete, asphalt doesn't count. I didn't do all the science. I participated in 2 studies. And I'm absolutely amazed. I'm just absolutely blown away. There are a bunch of papers right now that have been accepted for publication on this. A lot of them pertain to the cardiovascular system. If you want to read a book, read it in your backyard, put your feet on the ground. Medicine is headed right into electrical medicine. We're electric. So, red blood cells.